What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Questions and Answers. Last episode was really successful and got lots of views and had lots of questions answered, and I need a haircut. Had to work late today, so didn't have time. But hopefully we get some participants this time, more as usual, and who ask some questions. Today I'm just gonna pick a car and talk about the problems that that particular car has or could get. I want you guys to send me any suggestions, but I'm going to talk about the BMW 528 E39 for, I think it was made 1997 to 2000, and then 2001 they came up with 530 and 525. They got rid of the 28. So that era of E39, there's a pre-facelift, which is 97, or actually 90, late 95 to 2000, and then facelift, which is 2000, mid 2000 to 2003, or late 2003. We're going to talk about, I've owned several pre-facelifts and some facelifts, so we're going to talk about some of the problems that you may have. Those problems are not specific to that BMW model, but lots of different BMW models get those same similar problems. So first of all, ABS. I've had lots of questions sent to me by viewers, and I've had some vehicles that I worked on that had ABS problems. And the main thing with those vehicles, including not just the E39, I guess I'll mention the other models that this problem could occur on. E38, the X5, what is that, the E53, let's see, E53. Yeah, so the E53 is 99 to 2006, and then the E70 came up after that. E53 has the same issues. Some E46 models has that, not many, because they had the ABS module in a different location, which wasn't as hot, so it didn't melt everything. But ABS module has weak points, which are the solder points inside of the module. And if you look at the E39's ABS module, is right next to the exhaust. And the exhaust gets hot and then melts all the solder points in the ABS module. What I've done with mine, after rebuilding it, of course, because once that happens, I mean, unless you have a car that has really low mileage, this is almost destined to happen on your vehicle. What I've done, I wrapped it with heat tape, and I've put like a divider between the exhaust heat and the module to prevent it from doing that again. Now, once you get it rebuilt, they give you. I mean, I rebuild those modules. So if you need those, if you need yours rebuilt, send it to us. That actually happens with the E60M5, but that's in the E60M5 the pump leaks into the electronics and ruins everything, but that's a different problem. But for the E39 specifically, just the heat is the problem. So as long as you can separate the heat after rebuilding the module, you're in good shape. That's one problem, and the way to diagnose that is to if you connect your ABS capable diagnostic tool and try to communicate with the ABS module, you get nothing. You get communication issues, blah blah blah. Lots of times you would get a code for one sensor and you replace that multiple times and the problem still occurs. That's a good indicator that you have a bad ABS module. Lots of people go and pick them up from the junkyard and recode them via INPA, but if it hasn't been rebuilt, it's going to have that same issue. I mean, you might get lucky and have one that doesn't have that issue, but it will eventually. Now, what do you do when you get that Traftica code? You replace all your sensors, and of course you haven't done any research. So you replace all the sensors, nothing happens. You reset it, it still comes back. I bought this car one time. Still have the car to this day, but bought it several years ago. And one day it was rainy, and I know BMW traction control is unbeatable, so I was driving fast, and then I hit the brakes, and my car was skidding for, I don't know, like 100 feet. Stopped eventually. Luckily, I didn't hit anything, and that's when I realized that somebody tampered with the ABS system, because I had no lights on the dash. Because I mean, if I see a light on the dash, it has to be fixed. And so I had no lights on the dash, and I probably bought that, at that time I had bought the car probably not even a month before that happened. So went back home the next day, I took everything apart. I'm scanning for things and I get no communications, and I thought I had a bad diagnostic tool, so I got a different one, and still the same thing. And I did some research, and apparently people don't want to go ahead and deal with the problem, so they tape off the light. Somebody suggested, hey, why don't you check the instrument cluster and see if somebody actually taped off the light? And I was like, okay, that seems like a reasonable suggestion. So I went ahead and took the instrument cluster apart, and it was kind of easy to take apart, so that made me suspect that somebody had tampered with the instrument cluster. And sure enough, I took everything apart, and there was tape on the traction control light, and there was tape on the brake, tape on the ABS. So like on the right side there was a big piece of tape, and in the middle there was another one. So I took that off, turned my ignition on, and there I had all these lights. And turns out I had, at that time I didn't have much knowledge, and I did some research, and apparently, solder points on the ABS module will go bad. So I researched, found a rebuild kit, got it. I actually, at that time, I worked for a company and did some soldering. We built Apple computers, so I had some soldering experience. Got it all rebuilt, put together, reset the codes. As a matter of fact, I don't think I even reset the codes, but I checked all my sensors, and a lot of them had wiring that was rotted out. So I replaced all of them. Module was rebuilt, replaced all of them. Boom, drive the car with ABS. It was phenomenal. I mean, that was an issue that, you know, if you take your car to dealership with that issue, with a car that's 20 years old, you're going to spend about $2,000. So I was pretty proud to have been able to fix something like that, and it started from there. Since that, I've fixed hundreds of cars, not just BMW, Mini, Volvo. You know, I have Chevy trucks. I've worked on that a lot. German cars. What else have I worked on? I've worked on Jaguar. That's not German, but you know, worked on Jaguar. I've worked on many different manufacturers, and I've been successful. Recently I built my shop, which I will reveal on the channel soon. I'm gonna make. I have lots of footage and photos of my dream shop, which I have built recently. I just, not too long ago, I saw some people, you know, passing by the house and then back up and look at the shop because it's new, you know, it's 900 square feet, it's huge. It's every man's dream, but it definitely feels like an accomplishment because I built it myself. I've had a lot of help from many people, and I really appreciate that, but most of it was me. And you know, I had to deal with all the stress and, you know, not knowing what I'm doing because it's my first building ever. But now I know. Now it's you know, building a pole barn is not easy. I know that. And coming into it, I didn't think it was easy, but I knew I can do it. So yeah, we got that done. Pretty soon we're going to reveal that on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Meantime, all 5 of you can ask any questions if you have any. I'm here for you for the next 45 minutes. So, or 4 now. Let me know if you have any questions. If you own a Beamer, let us know what it is, what year it is, where you're from. I'd like to chat with you. Have another 45 minutes. Just send it to us via chat. So yeah, the E39 has that problem. Other problems you may have with the E39s that I've seen very frequently is the coolant hard pipes that are under the intake manifold that will blow up on you when you don't wish for them to do that, and it will overheat. I've seen engines blow where people just keep driving them. So that's another thing. If you ever take your intake manifold off, I've seen people replace starters, all the hoses, intake manifold gasket, hard lines, just so they don't have to come back and do it again. I actually had a customer in Texas when I lived there, and he did that, and he was like, he actually took everything apart and then called me. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help? So I went in, helped him, and then a few months later he called me back. He's like, hey, my fuel pump is going bad. Can you replace it? And I helped him with that too. Pretty cool guy. We used to ride motorcycles together. Yeah, so that's another problem. Interior, your door handle is gonna break. What I've experienced with mine is the flap control gets broken and you can't switch it from cold to hot. Interior wise, the 2000 models had problems with the heat warmer, the seat warmer. It burns through the rubber or the leather and it burns your butt pretty much. I've researched some, and it seems like BMW never made a recall about that. They should have. It's a safety thing, but they never have. What else in the interior? Plastic things break. The side of the seat, where where you have your controls for the seat, breaks. Water leaking into the interior from the moonroof or the sliding roof. The fix for that is to clean out the drains for your moonroof. Should be 4 drains in each corner. Clean those off. You're good to go. I've seen, what else? Interior. The steering wheel comes apart, like the leather is cheap. It's, especially if you're in Texas, you're gonna deal with that because it's the sun just wears it out. Interior. The seats are not really good leather. It's leatherette. They haven't made good leather in a while. I think the sport bucket seats have better leather than the regular ones, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. What else in the interior? Oh, the pillar, the A pillar, the B pillar, the C pillar, they just come apart. The headliner comes apart. The buttons get faded and you can't see what's what. Stuff like that. The buttons on the HVAC controller, they fall apart. Add any if you haven't E39 and experience any of these issues. Now for the exterior, let's see. The headlights, if you have pre-facelift, they're pretty okay. They still have guides that get broken and then your headlight starts to shake. If you have facelift, same problem. Let's see. I've recently had some problems with my taillight where it doesn't completely just died. Not sure what that's about. I have to take it apart and see. Let me know what's your favorite E39 wheel. Let's see. What else on the exterior? The paint is pretty okay. I mean, I have the silver E39 from 2000. Its paint hasn't chipped off or anything. It was in Texas for like ever, and then we moved to Colorado, so it's cold now. But the paint is doing not too bad. I think it's pretty good. It's a quality ride. I mean, so whoever is joining us, let me know if you have a BMW, what year it is, what model, where you're from. We'll talk about it. If you have any issues, ask us any questions. Yeah, exterior wise, let's see. Yeah, I don't recall anything with the exterior that I think is problematic. Engine wise, pretty much everything breaks. Secondary air pump, if you have that. Europe doesn't have it. If you have a secondary air pump, that breaks. Radiator, expansion tank, hoses. The only thing that doesn't break on the N52, because we're talking 97 to 2000, is the oil filter housing. I mean, I have one with it 184. I think it just now needs an oil filter housing gasket. So 184,000 is pretty good, because on the newer models, I mean, you hit 65. You hit 65, and E39 is my favorite BMW. What's yours, Kamal? All viewers, if you watching us, let me know where you're from. What's your favorite BMW? Which BMWs you have, just so we can break the ice and talk about stuff. E39 is my favorite. I have an M Technic fully loaded. I mean, we're talking even Brembo brakes, everything. 2002 530. And I'm planning on throwing a turbo in there sometime in the near future. Where are you from, Kamal? So other things that could break on your E39. Talked about ABS, secondary air pump, catalytic converters are a problem, especially if you don't put premium gas in your car, or one day you run into some bad gas and it just burns your cats. We talked about radiator. George, NYC, do you own a BMW? What year model? Welcome to the channel. I used to live in Queens, Jamaica, Queens. Other things that would break on your E39 or M54 platform would be M54, I meant not M54. Oh gosh, you have an M54? I have a 2009 Coupe 335i. It's so much fun, but it's always broken. Is yours modded? Do you have any mods added to it? Oh, you have the convertible. Yeah, do you have any mods? What kind of transmission problems? I'm having transmission problems as well. No mods, good, because when you have no mods, it actually your car lasts a lot longer, your parts last a lot longer. So I wouldn't get into mods if you don't want to break your wallet. Transmission problems. Let me guess. Do you have a jerk on second gear? And I'm guessing their mileage is over 100,000. Yep. So that problem is the internal seals. Yeah. So once you hit 100,000 miles, especially driving at 335i or M54 or anything that's over 300 horsepower, because you're not going to drive that car. You know, it's tempting. You always want to drive it hard. So you're wearing out your transmission fluid faster. The seals inside of the transmission, which all the shifting relies on, gets worn out faster. So you have 3 or 4 different seals that separate the transmission all the electronics is. Gosh, brain fart today. So what is it called? Transmission, automatic transmission parts. Okay, the valve body, which is once you take your oil pan off, you're gonna see cables and stuff and solenoids that control all the pressure in your transmission, and all the shifting magic happens there. Now there's pressure that builds up between the valve body and the top of the transmission, where the fluid goes in. There is 3 or 4 different seals in there that will need to be replaced to fix that problem. While you're in there, I would suggest or recommend, highly recommend, replacing there's one that's so the cable that feeds the transmission goes into a pigtail, which has a seal because that goes inside of the transmission. So between the inside and the outside of the transmission, there's a circular seal that wears out. So you're gonna have to replace that too. I used to know all the. I've been out of it. So we moved to this new house and I have no garage. So I don't remember the terminology. But here, let's look it up. N54 transmission sealing kit. Alright, so this is called the sealing sleeve. Connects mechatronic control. So the mechatronic control is the cable going into the transmission, and it you have to twist it into. No, it's not bad. Actually, I have a video in my archive. I haven't posted it yet, but stay tuned. I have to do mine. I have it 2009, like I said. So I'll post that DIY. It's not bad. You need a torque wrench. It's going to be a little tough doing it on jack stands. I've done all the ones I've done. Yeah, I would definitely post it. I have to do mine. I've actually put that video on hold, or that job on hold. I've dealt with that jerk for a while because I'm building my shop, and I knew that once the shop is built, I'll be doing that. So I'm keeping it so you guys can see it. So let's see. E54 was better for awareness. I can't tell how close sides are. Oh gosh, George, I have all of them. I wanted to do a single turbo, but I have okay, let's see. Let's start from the exterior. I have an M4 bumper. I got a stick-on carbon fiber spoiler. That's for the exterior. I have the T-mod, the Golf T-mod for the exhaust. So that doesn't add any power, it just sounds better. Now, when it comes to power, I have bigger turbos. I have inlet, outlets. I have charge pipe with a BOV blow valve. I have JB4 with E85 back end flash, so I'm running E85. I have an upgraded fuel pump, Elabrock something, I forget what number it is. I run 60-40 mix E85. I've got a catch can. I've got a one-way. There's a new. I don't think it works great, but I'm testing it at the moment. It's an oil cap that has a one-way check valve for when you overboost. The boost comes out of the oil cap. It looks like a. Just look up PCV oil cap M54. You'll see what I'm talking about. What else do I have? That's it. I have upgraded brakes, no rotors. I just put EBC brakes from the UK because the UK makes best brakes ever. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. It comes with factory lowering suspension. It's sports suspension from the factory, so that's nice. Okay, let's see. Sounds a bit complicated. Mine is 2005 325. Good car. I can't drive that here because it snows, and I actually have a 2002 325 XI, the all-wheel drive. Kept as is. Good. North England, the UK is Europe. Sheesh. Nice, thank you. I actually want a single turbo, but the kit is ridiculous, like $8,000. But it makes around 1,000 horsepower. So that would be nice. E45 sounded better. I think EU filters not exist in straight 6. What's an E45? I have to. I'm talking E46 because 2005 325 is an E46, not an E45. So I think you're referring to an E46. All right, so how hard was it to fit the M4 bumper onto the M54? Oh, so it's not an actual M4 bumper, but it looks like it. It's actually made for the E92 or the E90X platform. So look it up on eBay, you'll find plenty. It looks really nice, but it doesn't, in my opinion, it could fit better. But it looks good. Yeah. So just type in E90 M4 bumper. There's a million of them. But some come with fog lights. I kept my fog lights, but some, if you want to delete your fog lights and just have air coming through the holes, it looks really nice. Especially on your convertible, it'll probably look really nice. I got my muffler delete done. I got some noticeable power from somewhere. So what did you delete? Did you delete the cats? I do have some questions I want to read. Was it the cats that you deleted? Got the mufflers and welded the pipe. Huh. Well, the mufflers must have some restrictions, so you probably had some power gain, but it's not significant. It's probably like maybe 10 horsepower. But you'll feel it. I mean, I'm sure you'll feel it. What color is it? Black and red interior, nice. I've always wanted a black E90X. I don't care what it is. I actually came close to buying a fully loaded and packaged 6-speed with the M55 motor, not the M54. It was a 2012 335 E90. Man, that thing was beautiful. I only had a front end damage. I was gonna buy it from Coparts, but it ended up being like almost $7,000 for a salvage car, and I couldn't do it. So what else do you guys have? We have eight participants. Do you guys have any BMWs? Do you like them? What? Where are you from? Let us know. Let's keep this conversation going. I have a question about actually, Frank Norman, Alabama. Welcome to the channel. Do you have a BMW? Does it have any problems? I'm sure it has problems. Yes, 2011 X535D. Were you on here last week? I feel like you have. I think I remember you from last time. So we're gonna read some questions and comments that were left on the channel. Door actuator guy, yes. Did you get it fixed? Okay, so comments on here. Not yet, been busy. Yeah. You could do it yourself. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's literally like you take the door panel off and then it's three screws. It's not that bad. Yeah, let me know if you want me. I can look up your vehicle by VIN and tell you the part number for the actuator if you want. You can just email me at bestbmwdoctor@gmail.com. So questions that were sent to me. So this guy, I guess he doesn't like that I was cleaning the mass airflow sensor to fix an air fuel sensor problem. Yes, it's an E46. Yes, it's best BMW Doctor. I'll just chat it to you. That's my email, guys. If you have any questions, send them here. We'll respond to you on the next video or this video, depending on when you send it. You have another 15 minutes left. So, who cares? Okay, so this guy is asking, I have a P1447. So P1447 is for diagnostic module tank leak, which basically is a sensor that makes sure that you don't have a leak in your gas tank. Now that's mounted on your charcoal canister in the back. Almost every vehicle nowadays have that for emission reasons. So if you have that code, replace your diagnostic DMTL pump. Look up DMTL pump. You will have results. DMTL pump. Yeah, so if you have that code, the P1447, you will need to replace your DMTL pump. Taylor, this guy's been emailing me for a few times about his ABS problems with his E39, I believe. You will need to, so this E39, if you have the ports under the hood between 97 or 96 and 2000, if you have that era of E39, you're going to need to plug into the port under the hood, because you won't be able to read codes for ABS and airbag from the OBD2 port that's in the cabin. So go ahead and plug into your under the hood, and then once you get that done, got your email, Frank. So once you get that done, see if you can communicate with the ABS module, and if you can't, then you have an ABS module problem, which most likely will need to be rebuilt. Okay, Alonso Salazar. So my heater doesn't work on my 2008 E60, and sometimes it works, but only on the passenger side, not on the driver's side. You know, anything could be. I know there's a lot to think. There could be. Okay, so I've seen that on an older 5 Series. If it's consistent and always works on your passenger side, that tells me your heater works, which is a good thing. Now the bad part is one of your blenders, either the door blenders don't work. So when you turn your heater on, there's flaps that turn into the heat or the cold position, and when there's a problem with those, I'm guessing you have high mileage. When there's a problem with those, your flap gets stuck in the cool position, for either because you have dual climate control. So the driver gets, if the driver wants cool air and the passenger wants heat, then both can have whatever they want. Now with that comes complication, because you would have to have flaps that control what they get, heat or cold, and those flaps are controlled by actuators that could go bad. And your problem, sir, is your driver's side actuator could be bad. Unfortunately, to get to those, it's really hard because you have to remove the dash. Now on that E60, I'm not 100% sure, but I know on the older models, you may have to remove the dash. You may be able to access the actuators from the glove box or by the steering column. Don't quote me, because I've never done something like this, but that is your issue. Naturally, any BMW engines are indestructible. I mean, we're talking, you know, from the 1.8 liter. Let's see what the one that was in the Z3. Does anybody know what that one is called? Z3 1.6. Of course, no problem, Alonso. So it's the 1.6 liter. There's Z3. I've worked on a 1997 Z3 4-cylinder. Which engine is in there? It's a 1.9 liter 4-cylinder Z4. That engine, let's see, M44 B19. So that came in the E36 Z4, which is E36/7 Z3. That's an NA, indestructible. I mean, we're talking this engine will run forever. And then we have the 6-cylinder M52, M52 TU, 5 series, and the E36, so in the 3 series as well. I hate the V8s, as you guys know. Just BMW, just don't make V8s. Just quit making V8s. It'll be better for everybody. They're just problematic. They break all the time. Parts are expensive. They're just junk. Stop making them. If you ever buy a Beamer or thinking about buying a Beamer, buy an inline 6. No-brainer. Even the 4-bangers nowadays are not as good. As we know, with the N20 engine has timing chain tensioner issues. How about M57Y? Is that a diesel? I think it's a diesel. 57. Yep, it's a diesel from 1998. If you can get one, I mean, that's not a V8. That's an inline 6, I believe. I don't think I've never seen one. I don't even know if they exist in the US. Correct me if I'm wrong, Frank. Yes, they do? Okay. I've never seen one, but I've seen some 5 series with that engine. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Well, maybe I'm mistaking it with the wrong engine. M57 E39 diesel. Because there's an older diesel engine that never made it to the US. I know yours is an E70, but I'm looking at the diesel. Oh, I guess it came with an M57 as well. So the M57Y is probably a newer version of the original M57. But I thought I recognized it. It's production 1998-2013. I know nothing about them, but I know it's diesel, so it's going to have glow stick problems or glow plug problems, which you already have probably had to deal with, Frank. Turbo problems, oil leaks, diesel, and a BMW. I mean, most likely oil leaks. So there's not many people are left on here. We're about to call it, guys. If you have questions, email me at bestbmwdoctor@gmail.com. Hope to see more of you next time. Thanks for sharing and liking the video. For the M54 guy, George, you will, of course, Frank, anytime. We'll be here next Friday. George, what was I? If you have any questions about your M54, let me know. I know those things are problematic. If you want to send us beer by mail, my address in the description of this video, or, you know, not beer, just whatever. A letter or whatever you want us to, we'll give you a shout out. I can talk about Bmws all day. It is Pilsner, Czech Republic. This is what I'm drinking. I've actually been to the Czech Republic. They have a lot of really cool cars that get manufactured there, but it doesn't make it to the US. One of them What car is it? Cars made in Czech Republic. Skoda. Skoda is like literally a BMW. Doesn't make it to the US. Excuse me. I guess it doesn't meet our safety code. Tatra, Aero, Gordon, Jawa. Jawa is a motorcycle company. I know that. I don't know the rest of them, but there's a long list of cars that gets manufactured there. So when I was in the Czech Republic, I had this beer and I liked it, so I wanted to try it again. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Alonso. Just want to help out. I haven't been posting a lot of videos lately, so I wanted to just, answer questions here and there. I get lots of questions emailed to me, so I try to answer them on the live video, but today I haven't had many of you, but hopefully on the next one. Cheers. If you want to, see us on the next one, email me any questions you have at thisbmwdoctor@gmail.com. And I appreciate all of you for tuning in. It's been my pleasure answering your questions. Stay tuned for the next live video, which will be next Friday between 5 to 6. I sometimes work late, so I'm unable to start the video at 5 o'clock. I shoot for 5 o'clock, sometimes for 6. But yeah, between those times. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay Beamer.